This is the Eufymake E1 UV Printer that creates vivid, high-resolution graphics on almost any surface. Wood, metal, acrylic, glass, leather and more. And in 3D texture too. This machine's unlocked a new level of creativity and customization. The Eufymake E1 UV Printer promises to be self-cleaning and really low maintenance. But did all the hype meet the expectations? I've had this UV printer for 5.5 months now. I'd never been able to have a UV printer before, as I'm not going to be using a UV printer day in, day out, so the promise that this machine would survive on low maintenance definitely had me sold. When I first got it, it worked a dream and I created many fun projects and marketable pieces from it. Then as a general, my projects moved back to other creativity and I no longer needed this machine right then and there. And I knew I wasn't going to use it for quite a while. That time turned into 4.5 months. But as I said, this was due to be low maintenance and I was giving it every confidence. There is actually a standby mode, which would be recommended to use. So the machine sits idle and then from time to time you'll hear movement from the machine as it performs regular maintenance if the machine hasn't been switched on for a while. But going back to this machine, it's been sitting fully asleep, not plugged in, not in idle mode for 4.5 months now. How did it do is the big question, and so on it goes for the first time. The print head starts to moisturize and the ink gets injected to all the tubes. What I also love about this machine is the user-friendly interface and the intuitive software. It prompts the steps I need to take every time I turn it on and do something, and I'm hoping it guides me through the next steps just as it has when it was working before. So here goes. The cleaning cartridge has plenty of life left in it, but it says the air filter needs replacing. I'm not sure this is completely accurate, but it's really easy to take out and replace. It also went through a calibration stage, and it recommends to clean up any residual ink, and that's really easy to do. My machine came with this cleaning kit, so I just go through the simple cleaning process, which is really good for keeping any machine well maintained. I took some scrap card out of the recycling and gave it a little test. Everything seemed to be going just as it did 4.5 months ago. Everything's moving, there don't seem to be any ink spillages, there's no strange noises, and just as easily as if it had never been turned off, there we have a lovely first bit of printing. Excited to see this working really great again with no problems after 4.5 months of it being turned off. I set it to work and completed lots of projects. Before finding out about this machine, UV printers had these warnings. When UV printers are left unused, there's a risk of ink clogging. UV ink can dry or cure inside the nozzles or the ink lines if not used regularly. This leads to print head clogging and lots more problems. The inks can settle and separate, and the pumps and cap station can dry out. But as I said, this was due to be low maintenance and I was giving it every confidence. The machine speaks for itself really, and I have another video coming very soon with some creative projects that I make on my UV printer. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next creative video.